And I want to underscore something my friend Mike Rogers said. Leaks of classified information are serious, serious federal crimes for a reason. They should be investigated and, where possible, prosecuted in a way that reflects that seriousness so that people understand it simply cannot be tolerated. And I look forward to taking your questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Director Comey. They got a big job ahead of them, and, I think it's a first step and a good step that it was made public, and that's one of the reasons why I let you hear some of this information so you could hear, what ranking officials were trying to disseminate, going through. There's a lot of accusations that have been made, and clearly Russia certainly doesn't wish us well. And if there is some information that will show that they have directly interfered, then they need to be reprimanded and harshly for doing this. And it'll show the world how serious we are in protecting our democracy and keeping it sacred, because that's very, very important. One thing that was made clear was with all departments, and I have to make this clear to our audience, that they have not shown any interference at the electoral, at any of the voting precincts or anything of that sort. Now, what was leaked with information to the media with Crucifer and such and WikiLeaks, how much impact did that have to sway voters to Donald Trump? How many people? Now, to me, my thought is there was a movement going on long before a lot of that information even came out. Long before. Lots of information talking about, the DNC and information that they, were disseminating. I really don't feel ultimately, but I think that will be a poll that will probably be taken from people that maybe changed their mind after hearing the information on questionable folks working with Hillary's camp or her thoughts on various issues, and showing, what was going on in the inner workings of the DNC to find out if that really was a swaying point. If you've been to a Trump rally, and if you go to this one in Kentucky tonight and you see and hear the enthusiasm in people's voices because they need an agent of change that looks so different from the politicians in Washington, I just do not feel this was mounting over 8-year period with Barack Obama, knowing how awful, how horrible the policies have been under Barack Obama, that they were itching for a Donald Trump and they were going for it. I mean, anybody that's attended any of these rallies and seen it, and seeing how many people show up and the enthusiasm in people's voices, it's unbelievable. So I totally chalk off that even after what was being disseminated with Julian Assange or Crucifer with information for the DNC, and any of this leaked information had any bearing on swaying people for the Electoral College vote for Donald Trump in his favor. And I still go for that. I say that. Many people that I've spoken to, pundits, have said that. And, of course, this is the greatest thing, to hear this, because, you're going to have liberals say, and you're going to hear it out, saying the illegitimacy of the Trump presidency is that courtesy of Putin, you have Trump, and that he's a pawn of Putin, and he's going to be doing dances for him. They've already said it, months ago, but it'll be much more the narrative now. As things progress, you'll hear it, and you'll probably start hearing a lot more stuff as this hearing goes on, showing, how much involvement now with Russia. But they'll see what they can come up with. They'll see what they can come up with. And I will say, if they can point fingers directly to anybody that is working for the Trump organization, that made a deal or signed off or gave permission or gave money to or made promises to, or to show any conclusion, if they've done it, then they need to be obviously, court-martialed for it, because it's inappropriate. And that's not the kind of country that, and that's not the type of people that we want in the White House, for sure. So I pray that they'll be able to reveal if there's new information to be had, that it comes out front and center. But if not, to put to bed once and for all that everything was on the up. It was fair. Yes, they were trying to bring us down, but this is nothing new with Russia. I have to make this clear. Nothing new. They've not liked us, this, Cold War era and everything like that. These are the same players, and Putin's no friend of ours. He's not. Now, just why it is that he wanted Donald Trump into the White House, I have no idea. That'll be interesting to find out what the deal is. Business friendly. He just personally likes him better than Barack Obama, because he didn't like Obama, and he certainly didn't like Clinton, from what I understand. Even Bill Clinton didn't like Bush much, but likes Donald Trump because he sees himself as successful. I have no idea what it is, but I guess the experts will find out. We will find out a little bit more as information comes in from Washington and from other outlets. Ladies and gentlemen, we're 100% listener supported. We'd appreciate you making a donation or becoming a monthly supporter. That's another great idea. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube as well, and also on Sonos devices nationwide, as well as this radio station that you're listening to. Thank the sponsors of this station. All the best. May God bless.